Kia ora koutou talofa lava malo leleni symbol of Anaka, and welcome to Kiwi News Briefs. Hi, I'm Benno and welcome to a roundup of what's happening up and down Aotearoa, New Zealand and around the world. Well, first of all, in Wellington, a 42-year-old woman faces 2 decades in prison after she had sex with her 14-year-old cousin, and while he was 14 and she was 21. It has gone on for the last 20 years and she's been found out and she gave birth to a child. So talk about awkward in that family, but well done to the victim for speaking out. Now, we've got some politicians here, like Nicola Willis, who thought she was, like, really good in balancing a book. Now that she's balanced a book of all the figures in Parliament, she still refuses to give government assistance to the low socioeconomic levels and to elderly and to those people who need pensions, like the veterans who come back to New Zealand after representing and fighting in the war. They need to get some housing as well, people. There are a number of them on the streets of Queen Street and Karangahapu Road in Auckland, and you guys aren't doing your job, even though you're on almost 2,000 plus a week. Do your job, Nicola. Stop pining for clear good books. They don't help the country. Neither does your boss. Anyway, do you all know that Denise George, I'll say that word again, Denise George, who was the US General Attorney General to the US Virgin Islands until she uncovered 140 bank accounts funding Jeffrey Epstein and the Epstein files. So she exposed all these accounts, and yet you see that he set up shop in the Virgin Islands. This is Epstein, and they became known as the Pedo Islands by a few people of the locals. Now, she organised $3.5 million settlement in bills, so she thought that that money would go back to the victims, the women, the children, and to this day we don't know where that money's gone. Now, Denise George, who, as I said at the beginning, the US Attorney General to the Virgin Islands, was sacked by the Trump administration. Methinks she cottoned on to him, and so they try to shut her down. So we're reporting on beautiful Denise George for doing something that the judicial system in America and Trump himself, who covered it up, and his Republicans who enabled him to keep going this long without being criminalized for the Epstein files. He does have 34 felony criminal convictions at the moment. So good on Denise George, I say, and you should put her name up in your history books, because this Epstein saga is not going away until they bring her into the pool of information and evidence. Now, in New Zealand this week, we have got quite a few people who are still going to food banks. The middle-of-the-road people, it used to be just low socioeconomic. Now, middle-of-the-road people, blue-collar workers are all going to these food banks. So, Nicola Willis, you need to open up the bank books and help your fellow citizens, as does your colleague Seymour, whose failed school lunches failed abysmally, and now schools have gone back to, most of them have gone back to local food makers and food creators, like the growers, harvesters. So you've got a lot of homework to do before November, you two. And does Trump. He got shot, well, I was just like having a premonition. He was, as I said in the last bulletin, was threatened this week, and we just hope that, like, he just changes his ways. Have a great week, everyone. I can't say what I was going to.